Ruchit, Jain and Gaurav are joining us this morning on both the technicals and the FNO side of things. So let's get started on that. Ruchit, Ashu's betting on 79.50, you said?
Yes.
What's it looking like to you?
Yeah, good morning. Overall, I think the markets would continue its positive momentum. However, after seeing the amount of rise we have already seen in last 15-20 trading sessions, some sort of resistance I believe would come around 7800, 7820 zone. Now that's the area wherein the falling channel, the falling trend line resistance is placed. If we just draw the trend line using the high of about a high of 9100, from there this trend line resistance would come around 7800 levels. So I think some sort of profit booking could come from 7800, 7820 zone. However, said that as of now there are no signs of any reversal. The momentum is positive, and I think one should trade with positive biasness over here. Around 78, 7820, one should we are advising to look to book profits on the long positions already created.
We'll just put up a couple of charts. Let's take a look at Reliance Infra. If we can take a look at yesterday's chart, Smita, and also a 1 month chart, and we'll take a look at Jayshree T. We can just, so Reliance Infra, and then so you can see the trend continued. We'll just bring up a 1 month chart and see if it had a similar chart. We'll take a look at Jayshree T also, and let's put up Sanghi Industries to see what's happening. So nice clean chart on the 1 month also, and here's Jayshree T for you. It had a big spike, but pretty much just stayed, it's one of the spike stocks, but that's fine. I mean, most of these T stocks only move when there's some kind of stock, but 1 month chart is very clean. And Sanghi Industries, so I'll take three at a time, and then, so again, you see that big spike, and then again it goes off. So the smaller stocks, that'll happen. One big buy is required to do it. Gaurav, good morning. If you've looked at any of these, Reliance Infra, Jayshree, Sanghi, or if you have anything else on your list from a day trade perspective today.
Good morning. Yes, Reliance Infra was one of the stocks that we had mentioned to our clients also yesterday. It seems to be coming out of a good range, and 520, 525 is now acting as should act as a immediate support. So targets of 550, 560 looks quite set. We might see 550 coming, 550, 560 coming today itself. So it's looking quite good. Good amount of longs are seen getting built. That again is a positive. One of the other thing that I just popped on my system is PTC India Limited. I think good amount of longs have been seen getting built. Yesterday also good amount of longs have been built. It seems to be coming out of a channel, so range rather. So I think one can initiate a long on that as well. We can see 3-4% jump coming in today.
All right. Fair enough. Let's take a look at some of the other names that we're looking at today. In terms of we were just talking about some of those metal names, Gaurav. Let me pull up a Tata Steel and get your view on that as well. We saw some a nice build up in the stock yesterday, an upgrade also coming in this morning. What's Tata Steel looking like?
Well, the structure, the kind of positions that are seen getting built, I think it's not giving any opportunity to go short into, and short sellers are being shown a very fat stick. So I would say yes, it's good. It's in the momentum, but I would not say it's a positional buy. It's in the momentum, highly overbought, and a lot of positions. Some amount of exhaustion is also there. If you want to look at some of the names that are looking still interesting at this point of time, I think Vedanta Limited is just about given a new breakout, and 110, 115 also quite possible. So I would rather take position in something like Vedanta Limited that has given a good breakout, meaningful breakout, rather than something like JSW Steel, Tata Steel that has given a breakout, but they are just following the trend. We are not seeing a retracement happening, and somewhere when the retracement comes, we might get stuck on the wrong foot.
Let's take a couple of new stocks. Walchand Nagar, if you have a 1 day chart, and then we'll take a look at a 1 month chart. All I'd suggest to you, just hold that, Smita. Whenever you see that spike and then the stock stabilizes, don't go on the day chart. Let's take a look at a 1 month chart. If that doesn't hold up, then basically maybe one person bought it, and that's about it. So that's a stock for you. Let's take Harrison's Malayalam, because T stocks were running up. Some are saying maybe the crop is not up to, but you can find any justification. But it didn't even hold up yesterday. So let's take a look at a 1 month chart. Maybe it's looking fine on that one, and we'll take a look at one more. Let's take a look at GIC Housing again. Yesterday there was a big spike, but again, was it a 1 point spike? Looks like you had 2 or 3 waves of buying. Okay, let's take a look at a chart, longer term chart on this one. So that looks fine. Ruchit, any of these, all these T stocks start to run up. Do you cover any of them, or GIC housing? I mean, is it? It's been a late starter on the NBFC scene, if I can say it. Many of the other guys had run up earlier, and RIL actually.
Yeah, so among these stocks, T stocks, what we have seen, yesterday, most of the stocks, Jain Tree and all that, had a good gap up opening and a good follow-up momentum with increasing volumes after that. But I don't think that it would be a major uptrend, a start of an uptrend over here. Definitely, this pullback move which has started yesterday would last for some more trading sessions, and I think about a 10 to 15% up move from current level, it's quite possible in this stock. So they are just good from a trading perspective if you want to trade for next 10 to 12% upside in the stocks. Apart from this Reliance Industries, I think the overall chart, if you see, then it's looking quite positive. On the weekly charts, the higher top, higher bottom formation is in place, and in recent past, we have seen that any corrections have found support, and it's just again resuming its upward momentum. So positionally, resistance would come around 1080, 1100. But if anyone has a view from 3 months of more perspective, then I think these resistances would get crossed, and the stock would head towards its previous highs of 1100, 1120. So one should clearly trade with positive biasness in Reliance from positional perspective, whereas from the T stocks, it would be recommended only for short-term trading, keeping stop losses about below yesterday's gap area.
Okay, a couple of these pharma names in focus this morning, Cadila, DRL, etc. Once again on concerns. Let me get a take on some of the pharma names, Ruchit.
If we just observe the Nifty Pharma Index first, then this index has been clearly underperforming the broader market. Last few trading sessions, we have seen Nifty giving a good momentum from sub 6900 levels, but this index is now again almost clear to its near 52-week low itself. So this clearly suggests that the large cap pharma stocks itself, they are underperforming the broader market, and still on the charts we are not seeing any kind of strength in the large cap. Now what is happening over here is after this corrective move in the large cap stocks, now the mid cap stocks, I think even they are showing some signs of weakness. So I think one should clearly stay away from the pharma stock just because they have not performed in the last few trading sessions of up move in the market. One should not do any kind of bottom fishing into pharma sector over here. It's just an underperformance is showing that in case if the markets again correct from current levels and retraces the recent up move, then these stocks may correct further from current levels. Even Lupin, we have seen last week it had corrected significantly with quite amount of good volumes coming in. So correction with higher volumes in this heavyweights in the pharma sector indicates that the sector is not going to bottom out anytime soon. So one should clearly stay away from the pharma sector as of now.
Ruchit brought up a very interesting point. First, as a trader, you really don't need to be in any stock that doesn't show an uptick. Secondly, when in such a rally, an entire sector doesn't even participate, that's a real problem. I just wanted to show Lupin, whatever stock, Smita, I gave, if you can just give me a 1 month and 1 year on all these stocks. Lupin we'll start out with. Then we'll take a look at Cipla. Then we'll look at Dr. Reddy's. Now look at the 1 month chart. I mean, it's going in, it's actually like a mirror. It's giving you the opposite of the market. Cipla. Then after that, Dr. Reddy's. And what are you going to do with a sector like this? So let it stabilize. Even if it makes a move, it's so, let's put up a 1 year chart. There's so much volatility in it there. So on these stocks, so Gaurav, let me just rephrase the question. Sometimes we buy a stock on trading purposes, and then we come up with some fundamental reason not to sell it. Is it time to get out of pharma stock? Some of these, Dr. Reddy's, Cipla, Lupin, what have you?
Well, for Dr. Reddy, I would suggest that for people who are holding on to the stock, don't look for the reasons for holding it. There's one good reason that it's not performing, and I think there should be the biggest reason for getting out of the stock for the time being. For somebody who's having long term, I think for them things might be a little bit different. But on the near term, I think it can see some more pressure. 2050 is immediate support, can test those levels. If that is broken out, you can see another 5-8% correction coming in Dr. Reddy. Lupin, we had a sell call on trading perspective. But for now, around 1500, we have started to advise our clients to accumulate options for the next series, call options, predominantly 1700, 1800 call options. The reason being that showing a pattern similar to Wockhardt Pharma, which gave a good return, from 800 to 1000 rupees this time around. So similar can be seen. Some amount of exhaustion in the short selling side is seen. So there's a possibility if it stabilizes around 1500, we may see a jump coming in. But then again, as you rightly said, that if people are buying a stock, they have all the more reasons to hold on to it and not getting out if there's some amount of loss also. So for that reason, we have just initiated a strategy for buying call options for Lupin.
And you said this all kind of started with Ranvex, didn't it, actually?
Well, I was just telling Howard during the break that, one of the things is, when do you know that a particular cycle is over? When the poster boy itself got sold and, all these problems started from there. So that there is no question there's a structural re-rating. And, for all the stuff mutual funds say, when you look at their portfolios, there's very little pharma, maybe 5 to 6%. If they download more, you know what the effect looks like.
All right, fair enough. Let's take a very quick break. We've got some more calls coming in from Pankil Thakkar. Listen into those. Back in just a moment.
In this week, Nifty has given a very good up move, 7600 to 7700 odd levels. Currently, Nifty is trading with higher gap, due to which Nifty would remain choppy for the entire month, and also because of the year-end season. We can see a new range for the Nifty coming in between 7550 and 7800. As per the weekly charts, Nifty can retrace up to 7600, which will be very difficult for the markets to break. Overall, we can see Nifty coming till 7800 in this month. One can buy Nifty on dips with a stop loss of 7550 for a target of 7800 and 7830 in short term. The first stock would be Ashok Leyland. As per the daily charts, the prices have given a breakout from the flat pattern, which was at 100 and had made a fresh high near 104. As per the pattern, we can see prices going up till 110. If we see at RSI, it has given a breakout from its trendline resistance, which was at 63%, which also indicates bullishness for the prices. One can buy the stock with a stop loss of 95 for a target of 110 and 115. The last stock would be Hindalco. The stock has given a very good up move with volumes from 60 levels to 85 levels. On Tuesday, it has given a breakout from the resistance trendline, which was at 87 levels. The stock would face resistance near 92 odd levels. One can buy the stock on dips with a stop loss of 80 for a target of 92 and 100 in short term.
Okay, we're counting down to pre-open. The SGX is still a little quiet. Ruchit, as we're counting down, let me get a few of your strategies going actually. What are you watching out for today?
So after this swift up move in the index, wherein mostly large cap stocks have participated, we think that now it's time going ahead. Maybe in today's trading session, it would be more participation by mid cap stocks. We have recommended a buy call in Jet Airways, one of the mid-cap stocks which has recently seen formation of a bullish engulfing pattern around its retracement support. Prices are consolidating in a range since last few days, but we think from a trading perspective, the RSI has given a positive crossover from its oversold zone, which would lead to a pullback move in this stock. So keeping a target above around 585, one can create long positions in this stock at current levels. Stop loss can be placed below 513. Next stock I have recommended one of a buy in HCL Tech. If we observe this stock, then it's a more of a range bound stock. Last 1 year the stock is trading in a broad range, and this 800 levels has been the lower end of the range in last 1 year. Generally, traders should take advantage of this range bound trading by buying at the lower end of the range, and whenever the stock comes at the higher end of the range, you just look to book profits and exit over there. The stock is trading at the lower end of the range. RSI is trading around its support level. Some sort of accumulation volumes a bit coming in since last few trading sessions, and I think the stock would hence head towards the higher end of the range in next few trading sessions. So from short term trading perspective, HCL Tech can be bought. One can keep stop loss below 798 and target of 880.
All right, fair enough. We've just coming out of pre-open now, so let's actually just pull up the index for you. Remember the SGX indicating a quiet start in the green, nothing to worry about, but still quiet. A lot of the action's been panning out, in fact, in the second half of trade over the last few sessions. in terms of the trend that we've been tracking. 7,700 what we were holding on to. Let's see how we shape up today. On the index, marginal downtick right now, still around that 7,700 mark. Watching out for some of those banks. The Bank Nifty yesterday seeing a good move. So put up some of those SBI, ICICI, some of those names and see how they're shaping up today. In fact, the HDFC Twins also major contributors to that gain yesterday, and HDFC continuing to look strong today. RIL also saw a nice move. Pull that up for you. We'll also look at TCS. RIL is continuing to look good. In fact, 1,050, we're watching out for that level as well on the upside. TCS, let's pull that one up and see how that's doing and this morning, and also continuing to maintain that strength. And other than that, Tata Steel, let's just take a quick look at Tata Steel as well, because we did see a bit of an upgrade coming in and metals were looking good yesterday. So quiet right now. Pharma, of course, on the downside, we're tracking to see if there's any impact on a DRL, for example, this morning. And at the moment, completely flat from what I can tell. And autos, the other area perhaps to watch out for. We saw some nice action in some of those auto names yesterday, Ashu.
Yes, and you're right. TVS Motors, Hero Motors, if we have those, we'll just bring them up also. So it looks like across the board. I'd just say today is rather a high-risk day to trade, simply because of the fact that we're really heading into March 31st. I mean, I don't know if the bank strike's happening or not. So if that's happening, you really don't have banks operating now till March 31st. So it's a very difficult kind of a scenario. But I'd say NAV dressing is something that happens around March 31st. So it's safe to say we're on a strong wicket. And in terms of futures and options, so many people have been taken out at 75, 76, 77 almost every day that there's little chance that anybody would try a short in this kind of a market. But as I said, since the week and the fiscal year ends without banking in the next 7 days, you have to keep that in mind.
Absolutely. Let's get a call on some of those auto names as well. Ruchit, from the auto pack, so many stocks: Hero, TVS, Ashok Leyland, even an M&M yesterday, seeing a martial up move coming in. What's looking good to you?
I think two-wheeler space would continue to do well in short term. Hero MotoCo specifically, we have seen the stock after an up move from 2450 to 2750, about 10 to 12 trading session, it consolidated in a sideways range. Now, yesterday it has given a breakout again above that range, which just indicates that it is just a continuation of the uptrend which is going to happen. So on the higher side, 2950, 2980, it's quite possible for the stock to test in near term. Apart from this, Ashok Leyland also has given a breakout from a range of last 6-7 months, and 100, which was a major resistance previously, that has been broken out. So some positive momentum would continue in Ashok Leyland also going ahead. Retracement targets for Ashok Leyland are coming around 113, 114 zone, and 100, which was resistance broken, would now become a support. So any corrective dip up to 100, 101 should be used as a buying opportunities for this stock now. Keep a stop loss below 98 rupees and target of 113 going ahead in near term.
Okay, quick check on the currency as well. Let's pull that up. We've also got Partha on the phone line with us. Partha, not too much movement on the currency this morning, but we're watching out for the impact also on the dollar, given the kind of global events the attack in Brussels and the kind of risk of effect it's had. What are you also watching out for on the currency?
Yeah, good morning. These Brussels, of course, explosions have hit the investor sentiment across the globe. But usually this sort of risk-averse sentiment on these sort of events would be short-lived, hopefully. More importantly, the Federal Reserve, immediately after the Janet Yellen dovish statement in a post-FOMC meeting, have been making quite a few statements, have come hinting that U.S. interest rates may go up even in April. So that's one concern. I mean, that is, the dollar index has moved up almost 1 percentage point from its low to now trading at 95.70% or so. Good points from India perspective is that FDI flow has been very strong. First 9 months, almost 24.8% up to December. FI inflow also is gradually inching back to at least zero level. It's now less than $500 million minus. One very important point is that in India, the possible rate hike in USA and possible rate cut in India, the rate differential driven funds inflow may be impacted to that extent. that is going forward, that can impact the inflow on the bond market, etc. Immediate impact is that RBI, as you have seen, that has been strongly buying dollars as the rupee was appreciating from its near high, 68.80 or so. From that onwards, when RBI was selling and lost almost $3.5 billion of reserve, they have almost recouped on the way back to 66.40 or so, and they have been buying back, and the forex reserve data will show that they have almost recouped the entire reserve loss that they had. Well, yesterday also they bought at lower level and sold when it touched 67, 66, 80 plus. So today also I expect RBI to be on guard on both sides. And today, of course, month-end demand, defense-related demand towards the end of the month, and of course, long weekend coming up. Rupee will be a little bit of under pressure, but not in a big way. 66.65 to 66.95 would be the range for today.
All right, Partha, thanks so much for joining us. A quick check on the currency. Gaurav, let me get a few more of your strategies as well before we let you go today.
For the stock-specific ones, I would say one can initiate a sell on KN futures. We've seen a lot of buying happening, but there's some amount of exhaustion seen on the long side at 160, around those levels, 160 kind of levels. So there's a possibility it may again retest levels of 145, 146. One can have a stop loss at 162 and go short in the stock. Second recommendation would be buy on McDowell futures, Australia United Spirits. I've seen good amount of long positions at the new entrant in the FNO space, but consistent longs are seen getting built. Options also quite active. So for target of 27.50, one can initiate a call with a stop loss of 25.80. Last would be buy on Engineers India 170 call option. This is another start to see good amount of longs. Breakout has been seen. Options have been quite active. So for target of 6, one can initiate a long with the stop loss at 1.
All right, Ruchit, Gaurav, thanks so much for joining us this morning, running us through some of your strategies there. We've got just waiting a few seconds, I think, before we get those pre-open quotes kicking in. We've also got Vivek Mahajan and Mohit Gava with us.